So I saw this movie recently, and the plot was very interesting.
Does the plot have anything to do with our previous conversation that we were just talking about? Like
nothing at all.
Oh, okay, so I just want to make sure that this is a complete change in topic.
Yeah, we're switching over.
Yeah, I just want to make sure so I can wipe my brain so I'm not like holding on to things like, all right, let me hold on to that.
Sure, it's not that hard for you. So we're switching from loyalty to
yeah, you know
AI.
what? I choose me. We're switching from loyalty to
AI.
Oh, okay, all right. We've talked about this before.
So we'll have another AI conversation. So I don't want to give the plot away, obviously, in one swoop, but I do want to, like, because it's not really like this plot is so far-fetched that it wouldn't happen. It's actually probably, we're very close to it. So it's really like, it's hypothetical for now, but like until when? So.
All right, hold on. Before you get into it, we're going to get into spoilers because I think people who might want to watch that movie, you should tell them the name of the movie so they could be like, look, if you don't want to listen past this point, I'm about to give some plot details about this movie away.
I wasn't really planning on saying the movie at all.
Oh.
But should I give the movie credit?
Why not? I mean, cause I think, honestly, because you told me a little bit before that the actor that played Shang-Chi in the Shang-Chi film is in it.
Well,
so
okay.
I'm just saying, though, but
people can look it up now and find it. So I was just saying, like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, the premise, the plot, what I'm saying is like, it's not the first time they've done it. It's just that this take that the move, like whoever the writers were, I like what they did. So I just kind of want to see what you guys and what Chris would like sort of do.
All right, guys, let's go back into the guinea pig maze.
All right, so we were talking like in previous podcasts about like AI and like, I don't know if you've seen like now I don't know if they successfully or they're almost successfully like doing head transplants.
Yeah, it's all stuff like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
And did you see they made like a liquid skin for robots so they could smile and stuff?
Yeah. So we're not too far from like these robots being so lifelike, right, that we can't really tell the difference. Mm-hmm. Like Westworld. So now imagine, right, that just like the newest iPhone, you're sort of available to purchase a robot, and you can buy it and customize it to the likeness of you.
Oh, repeat that. You can customize the robot.
Yeah, to like look exactly like you.
Okay, all right. Making sure I caught that.
So, you know, the early versions of this robot are like sort of, I guess, slaves, right? They're robots, so they're like housekeeping and like making dinner. And then as the robots evolve, as the company evolves making them, the robots become more lifelike, more this, more that. But they have to follow these rules because they're a machine. But of course, there's somebody or some hacker or something that can crack the code and open it up so that the robots are able to live outside of the parameters programmed into them.
So, for all intents and purposes, almost have free will. To an extent.
Yes. Okay.
So,
like, instead of, like, giving it actual free will, you're just erasing all restrictions. So, like, the same thing, but not.
Getting rid of them. Okay.
It
makes me think a little bit of that movie Will Smith, I, Robot.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's a ton of movies that have done things like this. That's why, like, this plot's being very specific. I wasn't going to plug the movie in, but anyway.
Gotcha. My bad, y'all.
So, now we're, like, let's say a bunch of generations into these robots. So they're more lifelike, they're more this and they're more that. Now you can buy one, like I said, that looks exactly like you. So the idea is maybe it's insecure, maybe it's romantic, maybe it's fear. Whatever reason, you have this robot of you, and every once in a while you have to go into where you're storing it and sort of upload your memories into it so that it has your memories. So the point is, like, when you die, you die, but then the robot takes over and lives as you for all intents and purposes forever.
Picks up where you left off.
Yeah. So my question to you, first of all, is would you do that? Like, if it was, like, literally like an iPhone, like, super affordable, everyone's doing it. They just started doing this, though, where they're doing it in the likeness of themselves. That's the only difference.
Nah.
No?
Nope. Only reason is because I know when you were telling me like every night you have to upload it, and I was like, well, what would be the most convenient way to like upload your memories of the day to this robot? And I was like, they probably would have something that you wear in your head that you can have on while you're sleeping, because that's 8 hours of you being interrupted, like not moving, and it's like uploading those memories. So my thing is that like after a while, like if that robot is basically like a copy of me, it's gonna think like me, and like what's going to stop it from like coming out the closet one day and being like, I'm going to assume your life from this point
because
on.
it can't turn itself on. You're just uploading memories.
Look, I'm a fan of Jurassic Park, and any of y'all will know this phrase: life will find a way. And I'm not providing it.
Okay. So, in the plot, right, this couple was so in love that they agreed to get matching robots for each other.
Oh, that's hot.
And they were like, even if we die, what's gonna live on forever is our love. So they did this, right? They got the robots and they were uploading the memories every once in a while, whatever. And then they got into a car accident, and the husband actually didn't survive.
Oh, but the wife did.
Yeah. So the wife turns on his robot. So the robot picked up the day before the accident, like where he left off, and basically literally is her husband, except he's a robot. So he doesn't know he's a robot. He has all of the real guy's memories. You know, he's like, why is my wife being so distant with me? Like, I don't understand, blah, blah. You following?
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay, so she's still obviously uploading memories into her robot, but also he's a robot. So, like, he doesn't know that he has restrictions. So there's a scene, right, where, like, he wants to enter this room, and he, like, can't bring himself to pull up his hand and twist the doorknob. So she comes out, and she's like, oh, how long were you sitting there? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, I wanted to come in, but I couldn't. And, like, you kind of were just like, oh, like, you know, humans do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, I'm trying and I'm restricted. You're literally just like, I want to do this, but you're just like, I don't know. I can't.
You're like paralyzed.
Yeah.
Almost like sleep paralysis in a sense.
Yeah, so this robot literally thinks that that's what's going on. Meanwhile, she's in this secret room where her robot is, and that's why he's not allowed there. But because he's a robot, she's the master of the robot, like the owner. So the robot only does things that she allows it to do. So this is also another, like, playing God scenario, but it's like, is it God if it's just, like, one thing? But then it's like, then is it your pet at that point? But then it's like, but that's your husband, and, like, your husband still has, like, memories or feelings of love and, like, wanting to be with you, wanting to go on vacation with you, wanting to touch you, and you're like, I want to too, but this is so weird because I know my husband's dead. So for me to allow this robot to, like, I don't know, get intimate with me, it's, like, awkward.
Oh, yeah. Also because you also living with the memory knowing that your actual husband is dead. The robot is none the wiser, has no idea, thinks it is actually him. Meanwhile, you have this knowledge that, no, you're dead and you're a machine.
So then, obviously, the plot needs to move forward. There's a hacker, he comes right and he opens the robot. So now, usually the robots, when you say shut down, like, the robot has to shut down and has no choice. So now that's an example of one of the things that he no longer does. So he's basically not a human, obviously he's still a robot, but, like, he can make his own decisions without any restrictions.
Okay.
So, of course, he wants to, like, get back with his wife. So he goes back to her after this hack, and he's like, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm programmed a little differently now. And it's crazy because he's not really like, I can be him. He's like, I am him. Is he wrong, though?
The only thing that's ringing in my mind is Full Metal Alchemist, and it's the line, it's what equates to a human soul.
Right.
So it's like you could bring back all the pieces, but the soul is not there. So, but it's interesting because a lot of who we are and our personality is based on of our memories and our experiences.
Our memories and our choices. That's what Westworld taught us, right?
Yeah. And at the same time, who will we just say that this robot that has consciousness is not life? Like, it's just a different form of life, but we've given it life. We've unlocked that chamber, so... I don't know,
okay, so you've already said that you wouldn't do that, but, like, let's say hypothetically, your sister and her husband do, and it's almost the same scenario. Are you, like, talking to this, you know, robot now as if he's your brother-in-law and everything's cool and, like, you can pretend to move on? Like, you can sort of skip the grieving and, like...
No.
Okay, why?
No, because it's weird. If my sister didn't tell me anything, let's just say hypothetically it's Allie. Allie, I love you, and I know you're listening. One of my biggest supporters. If it's Miguel and something happens to him, I don't want that to happen to him, but that's the case, and you don't tell me, yeah, I'm going to operate thinking it's Miguel like normally. But if you tell me, I'm going to start looking at it sideways. Like, very weird.
Isn't that crazy, right? Because, like, otherwise, you, Chris, as a third party, would have no idea that there's anything wrong, that there's a difference. So if Allie, not saying she would, but if she chose to just be like, I can't handle the loss of him, I have this robot, I'm just going to activate it, and you went over to their house and you were like, oh, hey, Miguel, what's up, blah, blah, and you did that for years. And then she's like, listen, Chris, I'm sorry, it's eating me alive after 3 years. I want to tell you, Miguel died 3 years ago. This is his robot. You're telling me that you would actually be like, oh, nah, treat the robot differently and be like, yo.
Nah, at that point, yeah, that's a different question right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Allie would tell me right away, but, like...
Okay,
me personally, if she told me that and I'm thinking the whole time, I would be like, well, damn. I'm like, it talks just like him, and, like, looks like him, like, acts like him, like, everything.
Right, so if our technology right now is actually not that far from that, I mean, I'm not trying to suggest that, like, maybe some of us are robots and you don't know. Like, no. But, like, isn't it scary?
So exaggerated.
No, I'm talking to the audience for that one.
Okay.
But, isn't it crazy that, like, because this was a quote from Westworld, right? Like, if you can't tell, does it matter? And that line fucked with me for a while. Like, a while. And, like, obviously, even in Westworld, in every, like, one of those movies or whatever, you could basically just, and I'm not suggesting this, but just, like, cut yourself or stab yourself. And obviously, the robots cannot have, like, muscle, tendons, and blood and whatever. So, like, to prove that you're not a robot, you would cut your arm, and if you're bleeding, then you're like, okay, I'm a human, oh, thank God. Like,
you want to know something weird?
Hollywood.
This is going to seem like a completely random tangent to everybody, especially Alexia. But because she brought that up about, like, cutting yourself and, like, the tennis and whatnot. So, when I was in high school, right, maybe I'm a robot. Because one day, literally, there was, like, this kid, I forget his name. He was, like, you know, he was trying to, like, mess with me or whatever. And, like trying to, like, pick on me. But, like, I was just, like, not scared. I'm not saying, like, I was, like, a tough guy. But he was trying to, like, see if I would kind of, like, fold. And he had, like, one of those plastic, like, knives that we have at the cafeteria. And then he's like, hold it. And I'm like, go ahead, do it. And then he's like, I'll do it. And I literally put my arm down. And I was like, do it. And
it's a plastic knife, like.
Yeah, exactly. And he did it. And he cut into my forearm. But when he cut into my forearm, he was cutting, but only water came out. Like, not blood, nothing. And even he freaked out because he was like, what the hell? And, like, only water came out my forearm. Like, but then afterwards I got, like, a scab. But no blood came out, nothing. So maybe I'm a robot this entire time.
Have you ever broken a bone or had an x-ray before?
No.
Y'all, I think we need to reevaluate some things over here.
Hey, look, you guys, know I love Transformers. I have a lot of robots around me. Just saying.
Interesting. Maybe we should do a video vlog of this to try to debunk this or something later. But still, to the point, right? Like,
that's random tangent, sorry.
If nobody else knows, and if you don't even know, then what's the harm, right? I think the thing that the wife in the movie was wrestling with was that she knew the truth. And it was hurting her. She couldn't, like, handle it. So, and here's the spoiler part, if you guys are going to watch this movie.
Oh, no!
Should I plug it now? I don't know. Like,
Just go ahead at this point.
So the husband, the robot husband, was like, okay, you're never going to accept me. So he drowns her and then goes and activates her robot.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I was like, I would do that too. Like, the fuck?
I was gonna say, like, you told me that, I was like, why didn't I see that coming? But at the same time, I was like, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not gonna accept me, I'll get the version of you that will.
And there's no difference. What? The only difference is she accepts me.
And what she wanted came true, right? Like, you're like, well, you know what? We'll never die. Our love for each other. So.
Yep. That's crazy, right?
That's wild.
Yeah. And then just a second twist, just because we're talking about the movie specifically, because that's the thing I wanted to get at. That was the mic drop. But the hacker that's unhacked all these robots, because he wasn't the only one, he ended up being exposed as a robot himself. Yeah.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like I had a delayed response. I was just like, wait. That's wild.
It was such a good movie. So I just spoiled everything for you, but if you still want to watch it, because there's still there's a lot in between that I didn't come up with, but like if I didn't ruin the end for you, the movie did star or co-star Shang-Chi's actor. I forget his name. But
when did this movie come out?
Of course, I don't know. Like. What the fuck?
Alexia, y'all, with the info.
He's like, what album came out?
I like how she'll ask me questions. I'll be like bringing up some topics when we're talking about hip hop. She's like, cite your sources, and I'm like, when does this movie come out? I don't know.
Does it matter the year it came out?
You can't give me a year. Like,
do you want me to look it up? Like,
I'm gonna start doing that now to Alexia when I'm like, oh yeah, so it said Eminem had the highest. Like, cite your sources. I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna start doing that.
I could send you screenshots, but here I'm gonna tell you right now because you out here.
So there you go. Yeah, I gotta put on the spot. Because she be doing it to me. So like, like equality, y'all. This is what it looks like.
2023.
Oh, okay, pretty recent. All right.
Yeah, so no wonder, because it's talking about things that are probably gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
So the title of it is Simulant.
Oh, I like that. It's a good name. Good title.
Yeah. No, it was pretty good. And it was really short, but like they did a good job. Like I don't want to like speak for the movie because they're not endorsing this, but they did a good job of like kind of not rushing the script, but like they had all that covered in like 95 minutes or whatever, and it wasn't like, I was like, oh, but what else? Like, okay, there was like, what happens next, but it wasn't like, wait a minute, so.
Okay. Well, I actually want to switch gears real quick. Something just came to my mind, and I want to ask you this question, because what this made me think, it's a marriage, a relationship,